Do you believe that Florida nurses are not required to have CPR certification? I mean, that seems like a no brainer. But according to this article from Eight on Your Side, which is based out of Tampa, Florida, it found that hospitals require the CPR certification. However, most of your nursing homes do not. And I'm just going to read from this article. It says CPR certification is not a requirement imposed by the state. Instead, Florida leaves it up to the individual. Well, as a registered nurse in the state of Florida now for 24 years, I can tell you that this has always been part of your own due diligence. You know that in order for you to be employable, in order to decrease liabilities, more importantly, to improve patient safety and to keep practicing what to do in the event of an emergency, you would have to go out and get your CPR, your basic life support, your ACLS, your certifications every 2 years. And the pandemic is no excuse to let this not happen. I'm going to go ahead and continue reading this attorney's name incorrectly, so I'm just going to refer to him as attorney. All right, so the attorney represents nursing home residents and their families, and over the years, he says that he's seen residents wrongfully injured or worse. The fact pattern often the same, and so as we continue reading down, he's going to let us know the reason that nurses are not keeping up with their certifications. This particular quote says, the nurse will find an unresponsive resident, and every second, minute thereafter counts. Remember, for every 1 minute you delay in starting CPR, that person loses 10% of their brain function. And we don't know how long they were without a pulse before this nurse found them. So this could be the difference between life and death. And that attorney is absolutely right. It continues by stating that as an Eight on Your Side investigation revealed, a reported delay at one nursing home in Tampa in May, the Florida Agency for Healthcare Administration, or AHCA, and they're like the agency who does the oversight for long-term care facilities, hospitals, etc. They cited that particular facility for failing to provide CPR upon finding a resident unresponsive. The patient died. That is so uncalled for. According to AHCA's inspection report, after the death, one staff member found that 80% or 4 out of 5 nurses had let their CPR certifications lapse. Nurse Nicola says she worked at the facility and made the discovery doing a post-death audit. We discovered that the facility was not cited for letting the certifications lapse. Why? Florida does not require nurses to have a current CPR certification to hold their license. The Florida Department says it's up to the individual businesses. So let me just talk about that from my standpoint. Nurses, you know what you have to do. Doctors, you know what you have to do. I get some nurses, doctors, they're in here. I also do CPR instructor classes, and they will literally have a card that was issued a few days ago. And then when I have them demonstrate what you were taught in your class, they can't, because instructors are just issuing cards. That's one thing that's wrong that this article doesn't discuss. But then something else is wrong is that, sometimes in order to take the fast way out, these professionals will go online and take an online CPR course they've not pressed on the mannequin. And due to that, they don't have the practice. Practice makes perfect. Think about your pallets. Think about simulation labs. The reason why we simulate is so that we'll know what to do if there is a real emergency. I'm going to continue reading here. It says, I think it's not only shocking, but it's disappointing. I totally agree, especially knowing the fact that your investigation has uncovered that certifications and renewal requirements are being passed off to private facilities who has no ties to this case. And I'm not sure what that stands for. I'm going to keep on going. He had this advice for nursing home residents. I think this is one of the first questions that you want to ask. Do you have enough staff, but also certified nurses and aides that are trained with CPR? AHCA has issued a plan of correction. If you have a concern about the care of your family, I guess this is the email address for the actual news station. But again, my nurses, my doctors, my CNAs, because I know it's just not limited to nurses. And lately, Florida nurses have been getting a bad rap. We have some of the best nurses in the nation here in Florida. And as you saw with the license scandal, where they had fraudulently obtained their degrees and got their nursing licenses, that ended up going all the way around the nation. So it's just not limited to Florida. It's just that we may have more lawyers here who are willing to, investigate and do some deep searching. So help us save patients. Go to heart.org, get your CPR certification. If you're here in Florida, my name is Eunice Mathis. I'm at Florida Training Academy. If you look us up on heart.org, you'll see our class schedules under Acuity CPR. You need to be certified in CPR. You can, number one, you can afford it, you can make the time. And most of the instructors who are like me, we know that our team members, our professionals cannot go back to work without their certifications. So we have flexible schedules. There is no reason for you to not be prepared for a medical emergency and for you not to know how to do CPR. All right, and so I also have some a whole playlist that has CPR review videos. You all be safe. Keep on, being the blessing that you are to each other and to our community. And I'll make sure I link this article in the description below. You all have a great day. Bye bye.